What's going on, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is another episode of Roadie Reactions. In today's reaction video, I'm going to be checking out a band for the very first time. And admittedly, this band really wasn't on my radar, but over the last month or two, I feel like I can't go anywhere online without seeing their name somewhere. A lot of people in the YouTube comments lately have been telling me to check them out. And their videos keep popping up in my suggested videos on YouTube, so I figured, hey, it's time to sit down and check it out. And I really don't know too much about this band. I did see that they're from Atlanta, not too far south from me. And I have heard some things about Josh and Diamond, their guitar players. But other than that, I really don't know what to expect. I'm pretty confident in saying it's metal, but specific style-wise, not really sure. Now, late last year, they signed a record deal with Napalm Records. And earlier this year, their debut album with the label came out. And that album was called Unstable. Now, the video that we're going to check out is only a couple weeks old, but I can only assume that this song was from that album. So that's pretty cool, man. If I end up liking this, I've got a whole entire album that I don't have to wait for. I can go back and listen to it now. But let's jump into this, man. I will link this original video in the description below. And today, for the very first time ever, I'm checking out Tetrarch and watching the brand new music video for their song, Stitch Me Up. Let's go. We got some new metal vibes going.
Every second I'm awake, I wonder if it's still the same. I keep lashing out at them, but no one even looks at me. Why am I like this? It's always been this way. But I know I'm too fucked up, beat down, and they just walk away. I'm so alone, trapped in my silence. I scream in their voice. I know they don't listen.
This is fucking sick, man. Dude, we've been seeing a resurgence of like new metal sound lately that's really awesome because that's the sound. This is so fitting with this music video because new metal is the sound of my middle school and high school years, man. Like, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, you had Slipknot hitting the scene. You had Mudvayne hitting the scene. You had Korn, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, Linkin Park. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on, but like very reminiscent of that. I can hear the influence. I can hear a massive, massive Korn influence as well. I love this. Tonally, this is fantastic. This mix is impeccable to my ear. Whoever did this, fantastic job. I really like the blend of vocals too. I think that's Josh. I like his voice a lot. And then I also like the harsh vocals going on with everything too. So while we're talking about Josh, let's talk about some gear. Josh is using an LTD TE series guitar. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's the TE 1000. And we've talked about ESPs and LTDs on this channel a lot. LTD is the like mid-range line of ESP. However, the 1000 series on the LTD models are the high end. Like that's the highest end LTDs you can get. Now, I know, oh man, whose signature was it? I can't remember. There was a pretty big signature TE, but I don't think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's just a standard LTD TE 1000. I'll double check. I'll do some research on that, but great guitars, man. Before we break down more gear, let's just keep going. I really like this so far. Those background guitar parts are very Cornish. I love it.
Just need one person in my life to not give up on me. I'm so alone, trapped in my silence. I scream in their voice. I know they don't listen. I'm breaking apart.
I want to lead back into this chorus again. I want to knock out some more gear. There's a lot I want to talk about in this video. So their bass player is playing an Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray, and he's playing the model with the double humbucker setup. Those fuckers have a punch, man. And the Stingrays we see in videos all the time. They're one of the most popular basses that have ever existed. They were originally released in the mid-70s, and the style overall has been relatively unchanged over the years. It has that iconic look to it. Even though electronics have changed, they've added pickups. Some of the more standard Stingrays only have one humbucker in them, but we're starting to see the ones with the doubles. Drum-wise, I'm not really getting great looks at any of the gear that he's using. So that one will just probably have to be some research on my end so I can figure out what he's going with. But again, the tones on everything are great. The drums are really clear, really cool fills and stuff in there, and I love it. This music video, man, I feel this. I really do, because the metal community has always taken pride in being very inclusive. And with anything, there are exceptions. You meet shitty people everywhere, but metal has never told people that they really need to be a certain way. It's very much made up of misfits and outcasts and stuff like that. And the funny thing that I want to bring up is because, like, I feel this video in this school setting because when I was in high school, I was like a multi-sport athlete and I had friends in lots of different cliques and stuff like that, but I was a metalhead. And because I was a metalhead, like, I got ripped on by like the jocks all the time, even though I played sports with them. It's like metalheads, especially at that age in high school, are like targets. I mean, honestly. So this video speaks to me a little bit, man. I totally feel it. And speaking of, you know, being inclusive and accepting and stuff like that, I want to lead into my next topic. I know there's some people that are probably gonna say, why does this matter? Or why are you talking about this? And give me a chance and I'll explain. But Diamond, their guitar player, before I break into this, she is also playing an ESP. She's playing an E2, which the E2s are some of their higher end models. They're made in their factory in Japan. And she's playing an Eclipse. And again, that model, one of the higher end ones. There's some good hardware in there. I believe it's, unless she swapped it out, it's EMG 81s and 60s. Great tone, great guitars. But what I want to lead into about Diamond, I've heard people talk about her, or I've seen people talk about her on YouTube, but black female in the metal scene and not doing vocals, playing an instrument. And the reason I say black is she may be African American. I don't know her heritage, so I'm going to stick with that for now. But you don't see that often, man, especially playing an instrument. We see a lot of female vocalists and stuff like that, but not playing guitar in bands like this. And I'm going to go back to, there's probably people watching this that are like, dude, it doesn't matter. And in a perfect world, you're absolutely right. It should not matter, but it does. And let me tell you why. There are so many situations that have happened recently, and I'm going to use the NFL as an example. When they had their first athlete, like starting athlete in the NFL, come out as gay, a lot of people that didn't want to talk about it were like, who cares? It shouldn't matter. As long as he can play good, who cares if he's gay? You're right, but the problem is there are people who care. There are people with that old school mentality that think that, like, gay men shouldn't be playing football and blah, blah, blah. And so it is a big deal because he's breaking down barriers. I think that's the same situation that you've got with Diamond, because how often do you see a black female playing in a metal band like this, especially an instrument? And it goes both ways with females and black artists because, you know, how often do we see a female band member where you get a ton of comments where people are like, oh, she's so hot. Nobody talks about their talent. They just want to talk about the fact that she's a female. And even with males, black males in bands, I know friends that still talk about Lejean from Seven Dust. They still talk about the fact that he's a black guy in metal as a talking point. So it goes both ways, man. So I think this is so cool, man, because she's breaking stereotypes. She's breaking down barriers. I would love to have a conversation with her on this channel to get her background experience, you know, or her, not her background experience, but her experience being in the metal scene in her position. I find it to be fascinating, you know, and again, going back to the females and bands thing, you know, I saw a live stream on Twitch that Vicky from The Agonist did recently, and somebody was asking her, who are your favorite female vocalists? And she kind of went off about it and was like, why do we have to specify? Why do we have to say female vocalists? Why don't we just say, who's your favorite vocalist, and include the females with the males? And I agree, man. I mean, how many times do we see metal outlets, Revolver, Metal Hammer, Metal Edge, all this stuff? They always have like the top 50 guitar players in metal, and it's all dudes. But then they have the top 50 hottest women in metal. Like, they have to have their own separate category for that. And it's just, it's fucking stupid, man. It really is. And I hope we're getting to a point where, like, we're gonna get past that. And I know there's probably some people listening to what I'm saying right now that don't agree with me and think what I'm talking about is stupid. And that's fine if you do, but again, I do feel as though it's something that needs to be brought up. And again, I would love to talk to her about her experience in this. So let's keep going with this song. Thank you for listening.
One person in my life to not give up on me. I'm so alone, trapped in my silence. I scream in their voice. I know they don't listen. I'm breaking apart, really holding it together. Need someone to stitch me up, and I would give anything to.
I just noticed that Diamond is wearing an old school Mudvayne shirt. Oh, I like that guitar work. Oh, sick. So the high-pitched stuff that you're hearing on the guitar there is easily done with just like a wah pedal, like just with an octave punching it up. Nowadays, if they're using like digital amps and stuff like that, you can pre-program that stuff in, but when you hear stuff like that, it's usually easily done with a wah or a whammy pedal, most likely a wah that's pitched up an octave or two or something like that. Very good use of it. I thought that was super sick. Oh, it's a sick drum fill. Dude, this is f***ing sick. Dude, that just brought me right back to high school while still having such a modern sound to it, man. This, I'm excited, man. I'm super excited to check out more of this band. Let's go talk more about it. So I'm a little thrown off right now because, like I said in the video, that kind of nu metal sound is the stuff that I grew up with. But I imagine that these guys have got to be younger than me. I don't think they're my age, so that's kind of cool. They got a younger group of kids that are playing songs like this, man. And all around, I thought it was fantastic, man. Even when we started getting to later parts of the songs, I started hearing influences from other bands of that era that I remembered. Like during the bridge, I was like, oh man, I can kind of hear like the Orgy influence in this as well. Another band from that era. And the music video was great, man. Very, very relatable for a lot of people. And I feel like a lot of people my age that grew up listening to metal and stuff like that in high school could watch this and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Because let's be real here, a lot of us went through that when we were in high school. But man, I can't wait to check out more from this band. And I'm actually glad that their full-length album is out so I can go listen to it. And if there's anybody out there that's already a fan of this band and they have some older stuff I should check out as well, drop it in the comments below because I would love to check it out, man. I think if Napalm gives this band a push, these guys could be huge, man, because while it did maintain that heavy, aggressive sound, very accessible. This is a song I would imagine would do very good on rock radio in the US right now, for sure. So thank you guys once again. If this is your first time here, feel free to click subscribe. I release new videos all the time. Subscribing is free and it helps my channel out a ton. If you liked this reaction, I would greatly appreciate the like as it also helps the channel. But if you disliked it, no big deal, man. Thank you very much for your time. You are free to click dislike if you didn't like it. I'm also on a ton of different social media. I have a Discord server that we hang out on a lot. I have a Twitch that I stream on. And on Saturdays, I do live reactions to your guys' requests. So if you guys are into that, I'll throw links in the description below. My handle on everything social media related is @TankTheTech. Thank you so very much for watching. I will be back very soon with another episode of Roadie Reactions.